This video is about pairs of angles, or what we call angle pairs. By the end of this video, you should be able to define and identify these 6 words: adjacent angles, vertical angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles, linear pair, and angle bisector. And those 6 words are the important vocabulary in this section. First, adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are 2 angles that share a side and a vertex. Adjacent means next to, right next to. So in this picture, angles 1 and 2 are next to each other, so they are adjacent angles. They are sharing a side and they're sharing a vertex. So they are adjacent angles. In this picture, angles 3 and 4 are next to each other. They share a side and a vertex. So they are adjacent angles. Next, vertical angles. Vertical angles are 2 angles whose sides are opposite rays. Angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles because their sides are opposite rays. The way I think of it is vertical angles have sides that are opposites. Okay, in Japanese it's hantai. Okay, the sides are opposites. Angles 3 and 4 are also vertical angles because they are opposites of each other. Now, here is a picture, and we want to identify 2 pairs of adjacent angles. Well, adjacent means next to. So this angle is next to this angle. So I would say angle BAC, that is BAC, this angle is adjacent to angle CAD. CAD. This angle. Those are adjacent. Let's do one more. This angle is adjacent to, it's next to this angle. So I would say angle CAD, this angle, and angle DAE, which is DAE, this angle. Next, identify 1 pair of vertical angles. Now, we said that vertical angles are opposites, but they have to be straight lines. These are not vertical angles. These are not vertical angles because this is not a straight line. The vertical angles are right here because this is a straight line and this is a straight line. So these are vertical angles. So angle BAC, BAC, and angle EAF, EAF are vertical angles. Next, complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 90 degrees. Meaning, when you add up their angle measures, it's equal to 90 degrees. So here, angle 1 and 2 together make a right angle, so their measures must add to 90 degrees. In this picture, this angle and this angle, 47 plus 43 equals 90 degrees. So angles A and B must be complementary. Similarly, each of these pairs add to be 90 degrees. So those angles are also complementary. Next, supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 180 degrees. Okay? In this picture, angles 3 and 4 make a straight line, and so angles 3 and 4 must have measures that add up to 180 degrees. In this picture, 43 plus 137 equals 180 degrees, so angles B and C must be supplementary. Similarly, each of these pairs have angle measures that add up to 180 degrees, so they are supplementary. Next, I want to show you a way to remember complementary and supplementary angles. When I think of complementary, I think of computers, because it starts with the comp sound. Specifically, I think about laptop computers. I think of this angle being kind of like a laptop computer. Okay? And the laptop computer is at the angle of 90 degrees. So I think about complementary as a computer that is at an angle of 90 degrees. When I think of supplementary angles, I think of supper, which is a word in English that is the same as dinner. Okay? And when I think of supper or dinner, I think of a dinner table. Okay? So here's where the plates go, and maybe cups. Okay? And you eat supper on a flat table. So flat tables have an angle of 180 degrees because they are flat. Okay? The other way to remember complementary and supplementary is that in the alphabet, C comes before S. Okay, so C comes before S, just like 90 comes before 180. So they are in order. Next, a linear pair. A linear pair is two adjacent angles that make a line. Linear means line. It's right there. Okay? So linear pair, you think of lines, and they are two angles that make a line. Okay, so angle ABD, ABD, this angle, and angle DBC, this angle, are a linear pair because they make a line. Now, one thing you should know is that if two angles form a linear pair, then they must be supplementary. Their angles must add up to be 180 degrees. Okay, so what is the measure of angle KPL and the measure of angle LPJ? Well, I know these make a linear pair. So they add to 180 degrees. So I know that 2x plus 24 plus 4x plus 36 equals 180 degrees. Okay, next I have x's here and here, and numbers here and here. So I will combine the like terms. If I have 2 x's and add 4 x's, then I get 6 x's. If I add 24 and 36, I get 60. Okay, and that's equal to 180. So now that I've combined the like terms, I want to get x by itself. Right now, x is being multiplied by 6, and it's adding 60. The way to get x by itself is by getting rid of this plus 60. So the opposite of adding 60 is subtracting 60. That's how I get rid of it. So if I subtract 60, then 6x equals 180 minus 60 is 120. Now, x is being multiplied by 6. So the opposite of multiply is divide. Divide by 6, divide by 6, and x equals 20. Now, I am not done. The question is, what is the measure of angle KPL and the measure of angle LPJ? So I need to plug this in here, and 2 times 20 plus 24 is 40 plus 24 is 64 degrees. The measure of angle KPL equals 64 degrees. I must also plug this into here. 4 times 20 plus 36 is, this is 80, plus 36 is 116 degrees. And so the measure of angle LPJ equals 116 degrees. The last important vocabulary word is angle bisector. Bisect means bi means two. Like a bicycle has two wheels. Sect means to cut. Okay? You make a section. Okay? A sector. So to bisect means to cut in two. An angle bisector is a ray that cuts or divides an angle into two congruent angles. Okay, so this ray is an angle bisector because this ray and this ray are congruent. It cut angle BAD in half. So that ray is an angle bisector. This video was about angle pairs. You should now know what adjacent angles, vertical angles, complementary angles, supplementary angles, linear pairs, and what an angle bisector is. Thank you for watching.